one empire stood between East and West. It controlled 3 continents, ruled over millions of people, and commanded some of the world's most powerful armies. Kings feared it, merchants depended on it, entire civilizations were shaped by its decisions. It captured Constantinople, a city many believed could never fall. At its peak, the Ottoman Empire stretched from the gates of Europe, across North Africa, to the heart of the Middle East. It seemed unstoppable, so how did one of history's greatest empires lose everything? Was it war, corruption, economic collapse, or something far more dangerous, hiding inside the empire itself? This is the incredible story of the rise and the fall of the Ottoman Empire.
Everything began, not with an empire, but with a small tribe. At the end of the 13th century, northwestern Anatolia was a dangerous frontier. The once powerful Seljuk Sultanate had weakened. The Byzantine Empire, though still respected, was steadily losing control of its territories. Small Turkish principalities competed for land, power, and survival. Among them, one leader began attracting attention. His name was Osman. Historians believe he possessed something far more valuable than a large army. He inspired loyalty. Warriors from across the region, known as Ghazis, joined his banner, not simply for wealth, but because they believed they were expanding both territory and faith. What started as a small frontier state soon became something much larger. Osman's victories created the foundation of what would later become the Ottoman Empire. His successors expanded even faster. City after city, fortress after fortress, fell under Ottoman control. But expansion alone does not build an empire. Administration does. The Ottomans understood something many kingdoms never did. Conquering land is easier than governing people. Instead of forcing every population to abandon its customs, the empire often allowed local traditions, religions, and communities to continue. Different religious groups managed many of their own internal affairs. This flexibility reduced resistance and created remarkable stability across a vast territory. Trade also flourished. The empire stood between Europe, Asia, and Africa. Caravans crossed its lands. Ships filled its harbors. Markets overflowed with silk, spices, weapons, and precious metals. Every major trade route made the empire wealthier. That wealth funded stronger armies, larger cities, and magnificent architecture. Then came the moment that changed history forever. The year was 1453. For centuries, Constantinople had stood as one of the world's greatest cities, protected by enormous walls and considered impossible to conquer. Many armies had tried. All had failed. But Sultan Mehmed II believed otherwise. Instead of relying only on traditional tactics, he invested in something revolutionary: massive cannons, some capable of firing enormous stone projectiles. Against walls that had protected the city for nearly 1,000 years, after weeks of relentless bombardment, the impossible happened. Constantinople fell. The Byzantine Empire came to an end. The city was transformed. It became Istanbul. And with that victory, the Ottomans controlled one of the most important cities on earth. Trade between continents flowed through their empire. Political influence expanded dramatically. Across Europe, leaders watched carefully, because a new superpower had emerged. Over the next century, the empire continued growing. It reached deep into the Balkans, across the Middle East, into North Africa. Its navy dominated major seas. Its army became one of the most disciplined fighting forces in history. At its greatest extent, the Ottoman Empire ruled Millions of people, hundreds of cities, dozens of cultures, and territories stretching across 3 continents. To many observers, its future appeared limitless. Few could imagine that hidden beneath this extraordinary success, the first cracks had already begun to appear. But every great empire carries within it the seeds of its own decline. For the Ottoman Empire, the warning signs appeared slowly. At first, almost no one noticed them. The empire had grown so vast that governing it became increasingly difficult. Corruption spread through the government. Positions of power were often awarded through influence instead of ability. Some officials became more interested in protecting their own wealth than protecting the empire. Then came another challenge: the Janissaries. For centuries, they had been among the world's most disciplined soldiers. They helped build the empire. They defended its borders. They feared no enemy. But over time, success changed them. Many resisted military reforms. Some even rebelled against their own sultans. An army that once protected the empire gradually became one of its greatest obstacles. Meanwhile, Europe was changing rapidly. The Renaissance transformed knowledge. The scientific revolution accelerated innovation. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Factories replaced workshops. Modern weapons replaced old technology. Steamships changed trade. Railways changed transportation. European nations adapted. The Ottoman Empire struggled to keep pace. Its economy weakened. Its military slowly fell behind. Foreign debts increased. Outside powers began interfering in Ottoman affairs. Britain, France, Russia, each pursuing its own interests. The empire became known across Europe as the Sick Man of Europe, a title that would have seemed impossible only centuries earlier. Nationalist movements also grew stronger. Many regions that had once accepted Ottoman rule now demanded independence. One by one, territories were lost. The Balkans, North Africa, parts of the Middle East. The empire continued shrinking. Then, the greatest crisis arrived. World War I. The Ottoman Empire chose to fight alongside Germany and Austria-Hungary. It was a decision that would change everything. Years of brutal fighting exhausted the empire. Resources disappeared. Cities suffered. Millions of lives were forever changed. When the war finally ended, the Ottoman Empire had reached its final chapter. In 1922, the Sultanate was abolished. More than 6 centuries of imperial rule came to an end. 2 years later, the Republic of Türkiye was founded. Led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, a completely new nation rose from the remains of an ancient empire. Yet, the Ottoman Empire never truly disappeared. Its legacy still lives on. In the architecture of Istanbul, in the cultures it influenced, in the languages, traditions, food, and history shared across 3 continents. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson the Ottoman Empire left behind. No civilization, no matter how wealthy, how powerful, or how feared, lasts forever. Empires are not destroyed in a single day. They slowly weaken when they stop adapting to a changing world. History remembers not only how great civilizations rise, but also how they choose to respond when the world begins to change. And perhaps that lesson is just as important today as it was 600 years ago.